Alright guys, so we're back with another Discord music bot tutorial. So we're going to go ahead and write a simple search command that will basically search for songs, and then we can display it to the user, and then we can allow the user to select what song they want to play based off of the results that were returned. So I already have the else if condition, so every single time we type any message that starts with this exclamation mark search command or this string, and then following that, we're going to have our argument, the song that we want to search for. It's going to jump inside this else if condition block. So what we want to do is we want to get the argument first. Now, there's many ways that you can get the argument. The way I prefer to do it is I'm going to do it like this: const query message.content. And actually, you know what I'm going to do is, let's see. We're going to get the first occurrence of the substring. Oh, I'm sorry. The substring, which is a space, and let me do index of the space. So this should be a number, and what we want to do after is we basically just want to slice everything starting from there. So this should work accordingly. So let me just try it out real quick. Message.content.slice index of space. Might need to increment it by 1, but we're going to test it out. So I'm going to go into my server real quick. So let's do search NCS limitless. Okay, so you can see that we have that space over there. I don't know if you can see this on the bottom, but there's this little space. Okay, this is not part of the terminal. This is an actual space character. So we need to just increment this by 1. Now you could hard code this, since we know that this search command is fixed. It's a fixed substring, so it's going to have the same amount of characters every single time. You could hard code it, kind of like how they did it up here, and I say they because this is the code from Erela.js documentation. I personally don't like using hard coded values like how they did it with this numeric value over here, which is why what I did instead was I got the first occurrence of the space, and since we know it's at index number 7, we just increment it by 1, and then it will just get us everything that we want. So if I try this again, you're going to see that we have NCS limitless. Perfect. Okay, so now we have our query. So what we want to do is we just want to basically, and you know, I'm just going to name this index because I don't need to make it super complicated. Anyway, so what I want to do is I want to basically search for the song, and it's very easy. Basically, to search for songs, you want to call the search command that is a method, or I'm sorry, not command, search method that is a method on the manager instance. So what we want to do is we want to simply do const results equals, and we're going to reference client.manager.search, and this is going to return a promise, so we will need to await the promise. So we're going to pass in the query, and then we need to pass in the author that is searching. This is the author, and like I said, we will need to await this. And so now we're going to have all of our results. So let's just type that in, and let me go over to the documentation just to show you guys real quick. So manager.search. Okay, and you can see that these are the two parameters. We have the query and then the requester. The requester, like I said, is the person who is searching for the song. The query is the actual song we want to search for. And it returns a search result object. Okay, so I'm just going to console log the results. So let's do NCS limitless, and now you're going to see that we have an object. So let me just scroll up a little bit. Okay, so you can see that we have this object, and let's pay attention to the properties one by one. You can see that we have load type, which is a search result. Okay, we have exception, which is null, because I think exception is the error, if there were any. Yep, there's no exceptions. If there was, it would give you it would not be null. And then we have tracks, which is basically an array of track objects. Okay, we'll go through it in just a sec. And then there's one more property called playlist, which I want to see if there's there. This is optional, but I think this only works if you actually have a playlist that's requested. But since this is not a playlist, we don't have to worry about that, which is why it doesn't even pop up because it's optional. Okay, so let's pay attention to the tracks. So you can see that just by looking at the first track, you can tell that this itself is the track object, and you can see all the properties. We have track, we have title, identifier, author, duration is seekable, all of these things. Okay, so what we want to do is we basically want to gather all of this data and we want to display it to the user. And the way I'm thinking about doing it is basically just displaying probably the first 10 results, or maybe even the first 5, depending on how it's up to you. It's up to you. I'll probably just display the first 10, and what I want to do is I want to display the title, and I think, if I remember correctly, we're going to put this inside an embedded message. But inside embedded message, I think you can also put links too, which is cool. So I'm going to show you guys how to do that real quick. Alright, so basically what we're going to do is we're going to get all the results. So we saw earlier in the search result object that there's the property called tracks. So we're going to go ahead and get that. So const tracks equals results. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and basically for each track, you know what, I need to console log this again because I forgot all the properties. Actually, I can just look it over here. What am I talking about? Okay, so we have the title and then we have the URI. So first, let's just get the title. So const, and we're going to basically, actually not, I'm not going to use const, I'm going to use let. So what we're going to do is we're going to declare a variable, and I'm going to call this results description. And we basically want to build a string. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to loop through all of the tracks, and for each track we're going to basically get the title and we're going to combine it into this results description string. So for, let's see, const track and tracks, hopefully I remembered how to do this because it's been a while since I've actually coded with JavaScript, so hopefully I'm doing this correctly. Okay, so we need to use const track of tracks. I always forget because there's so many different types of loops, so I always forget which one to use. Okay, there we go. Yep, perfect. This is the one that we want. Okay, so good. So it's looping through everything. So we just want the track title. There we go. So we have the track. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so we have a lot of results. We only want probably the first 10. You can make it a little bit more complex. You can make it so that you have pagination. So if there's more than 10 results, you can have it go to the next page. I'm not going to do that. I'm only just going to go ahead and get only the first 10 results. Alright, so basically what we want to do to get the first 10 tracks is we can just simply do const tracks equals results.slice, and we can start from 0 and end to 10. And that should give us the first 10. So we can try this again. We gotta wait for the bot to start. Results.slice. So I think I meant to do results.tracks.slice. There we go. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, 10. Perfect. Okay. Like I said, you could do whatever you want. It's up to you. I'm only gonna make this simple. I'll let you guys take care of the rest. Okay, so for every single track, we're gonna basically get the track title. And the way we're gonna do this is very simple. So basically, first let's start with this. Results description plus equals. We're gonna use backticks for template literal. So track.title, and we're going to add a new line character. So at the end of the loop, our string should look like this. You may not notice a difference, but it'll literally look like this. Okay, but we can actually take the string and put it inside the embed, and it will display to the user. So const embed equals new message embed. So have the importer above, set the description. Let's send that to the user. And let's just see if everything works the way we want it to work. Our bot is taking forever. There we go. So you can see we have the results. Okay, but now what we're going to do is we're going to label each result with a number. So that way we can actually keep track of which song is which. So how do we do this? Well, there's multiple ways, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to have a counter. So let's do let counter equals, we'll start with 1. So inside the string, we're going to also interpolate the counter variable, just like that. So we have counter, and then a little right-hand side parentheses, just to make it look like a list. And then we're going to increment counter by 1, so it will be 2 in the next loop iteration. And then if we were to do this again, you'll see that now it will have numbers. I want to go ahead and do one more thing, and I want to go ahead and add links to the text so we can actually click on the links. I've done this before. If I remember correctly how to do links with an embed, because embeds support markdown. If I remember correctly, the way you do this, I'm going to try to, there's only 2 possible ways I can think about it. Let me try it. You guys probably might get the first try, but I think it's either this way, where you put the parentheses around the text, or I think it's the other way around. You have to put the square brackets around the title, and then you have to wrap the URL with a parenthesis. Yep, I think this is the correct way. You can see it's messed up too. There we go. Yep, so now we have the links, so we can pretty much just click on the links if we want to. We can copy the link, and you can see that it'll just take you to the actual song. Okay, that's cool. And like I said, you can make it more complex if you want to. You can make it display the thumbnail, and you can add pagination. I'm not going to do that in this video. I just wanted to make a simple video on how you can search for the song. And now the last thing we need to do is we need to make it so that we can select the song. So how exactly do we make it so that we can select the song? Well, it's fairly simple. So what we're going to do is first let me get rid of this console log. Basically, all of our results are labeled from 1 to 10, but they're all inside this tracks array, which starts at, the first track is at 0. So what we need to do is we need to get the user's input. So for example, we can do this 2 ways. We can either use reactions or we can use text. I think it's easier just to use reactions. I mean, not reactions, text, because if you use reactions, well, first of all, you're not always going to get exactly the same number of results all the time. So if you were to use reactions, you need to make sure you have the same number of reactions for the same number of results. So for example, if you have 10 results, you'll need 10 reactions. Okay. Honestly, it's really up to you on how you want to do this. Personally, if you want to do it with reactions, what you can do is you can always have a fixed. What you can do is you can check to see how many results there are, and based off the number of results there are, you can use that to programmatically add the number of reactions, and you can have the user react with whatever emoji. You can use like the numeric emojis if you want. But I think the easiest thing to do is just use a text command. or not command, but like text response. So for example, we'll be like, okay, what song would you like to choose? So what song would you like to choose? Enter the number. Okay, so enter a number, and so here we'd have to await for the response. So we'll give them like maybe, I don't know, a minute or so, or 30 seconds. So they'll enter their response. So let's do const response equals await message dot channel. So for the filter, we want to basically make it so that the message dot author dot ID is equal to the same author that had sent the search query. For the options, we're going to have a max of 1. Time, we'll give them 30 seconds. So that's yeah, that's 30 seconds, 30,000 milliseconds. And I think that should be good enough. So let's see. So now const response. So response is going to be a collection of all of the messages. So we'll just get answer equals response dot first. So we'll get the answer. So don't worry, I know I'm going a little bit fast, but I'll explain what's going on. So let's run the command. So let's do 10. So let's look at the console. Oh, you'll see, oh, we logged the message. We meant to log the content, but you saw that it did say 10 right over here, the content, which is exactly what you want. Okay, we expect it to be a numeric value. So let's do 1. Okay, you'll see it says 1. If I were to do 2, it would say 2, but obviously it's not going to work because we only allow a max of 1 message to be collected, and we give them 30 seconds. Okay, so now that we have the answer, what we want to do is we want to use this value to get the song, the track. Okay, so I'm going to get the content, and what I'll do is I'll also, I think I might be able to just directly use this as a reference in the array. Let's try it. So const track equals tracks answer -1. I doubt this will work, but it should, because I think automatically JavaScript should treat this as a numeric value -1. Let's see. Alright. Okay, so it seems like, yep, it seems like this worked. Okay, you can see that it got us the first track. Okay, got us the first track. Yep, limitless NCS, author no copyright sounds, perfect. Okay, and what we can do now is we can basically just queue up this song. And to queue the song, it's fairly simple. We need to actually get the player. So what you can do from here is you can check to see if the player exists. If the player does not exist, you can tell the user that the bot needs to be in the voice channel. And if it does exist, you just do player.add or player.queue.add, and then you pass in the track. So I'm going to go ahead and get the player. So it's the same way that we did it in the previous video. So we get the player like this, client.manager.players. Players is a collection of all of the players mapped by their guild ID. And then we call .get and pass in the guild ID. And then we simply check to see if player.queue.add track. And we can just simply, I think automatically it will send the message. And we'll just say message channel.send. So if there's no player that exists, we'll say the bot is not in a voice channel or does not have a player existing. Okay, so let's try this out. So if I do search NCS limitless, okay, because the bot, yep, that makes sense because our bot is not currently in the voice channel. Let me just go inside the voice channel now. Okay, so seems like, Oh, that's right, because we just got the bot. Oh, we just joined the voice channel. The bot is not in the voice channel yet. Okay, so here we'll actually have to do !play NCS limitless. Okay, so the song is playing. So let's do search NCS sky high. So let's get the first one. So let's see what's going on here. So sky high did in fact get queued. Oh, okay. So it seems like I think it did add it to the queue. Yep, it did add it to the queue. I thought it would actually send the message in the manager, track start. Okay, no, I thought. Okay, so what I thought was if a song was added to the queue, I thought it would automatically. I thought it would automatically send a message because I thought we already had that event set up, but it seems like we don't, so that's fine. But it works though. Okay, yeah, that's fine. So what we can do instead ourselves is we can just simply do. Yeah, it worked. It worked. You can see that it said the next song was playing, which means that our search command works. So let's do track.title was added to the queue. So let's try this again. Play NCS limitless. Search. Or bot. Hold on, what's going on here? Search NCS sky high. Alright, so there we go. And if I skip, it will play the next song. Let me actually put on my headphones just so I can listen to this real quick. But it should work though. I'm fairly confident it's working. Let me unmute. Yep, perfect. It's working. And our other commands. Oh, stop. Oh, I forgot we don't have a stop command. Okay. Alright, well, yeah, that's pretty much it with this search command. It's a very simple search command. There are some tweaks that you might need to add, such as, for example, you want to make sure that the user enters a numeric value. If they don't, this is going to cause an error. So you need to handle that. I'll let you guys take care of that yourselves. But yeah, this is a fairly simple search command. You guys can take and modify it and to fit your needs. I'm just going to make you guys aware of the current errors that might happen. So, like I said, I want to make this as simple as possible because we are already, I think, at like 20 minutes or maybe even more right now for this video. I thought this video would probably be maybe like 10 minutes, but I was wrong. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys in my next one. Peace out.